everyone. This is Bob with Bob's Leatherworks in Raleigh, North Carolina. I said in previous videos that I would make a new video when I made something new or different. And here we have something. Now, I make a lot of cowboy fast-track action rigs, but this one is a straight up not over the belt, drop loop BUSCADERO rig. This man wanted something that looked like the Paladin rig, and it does have a few things in it that are like the Paladin rig, which I will show you in a minute or two. I just want to show you a couple of other things about this gun belt before I get into that. Now, this is a big man. He is a size 52. That is why this belt looks so long, because it is long. Okay. Now, he wanted 18 bullet loops, 45 caliber, and I discussed that with him about whether to put them on the center of the belt or over on the right. And the practical part of it is that when you are loading your gun from bullet loops, you want to be able to reach over with your right hand, pull the bullets out, and you're going to be holding your gun in your left hand with the gate open. So that is why they start out right behind the butt. He didn't want a Ranger Star Concho, so I put a standard buckle on here, and the Paladin horse head to put into a holster is not easy to find. I've seen some of them that are really cheap, and it calls for a different design as far as attaching the front of the holster to the back flap. Now, there is two aspects actually, on this holster, details, features, whatever you want to call them, that are just like the Paladin rig, which was made by Arvo Ajallo. His daughter still makes all of his rigs and more in the Hollywood shop. She picked up the business after he retired and passed on. So let me show you two aspects right now. First of all, I'm going to take the gun out of here. Oh, before I do that, I almost forgot. This man has a new model Blackhawk, 4 5/8. My gun is an old model VAQUERO in this holster. The cylinder and the where the rear sight is on a new model Blackhawk is not inside the holster. So I used this gun to make his holster. The cylinder size and the trigger guard set are very much the same, and I also left the bottom of the holster wide open so that the larger sight will work its way into this holster with no problem. He's going to bring his gun over when he comes to pick up the rig, and I'll set it in there for him. So out comes the gun, and I'm going to put it off to the side. Now, here are two of the features, one of which you can see in this Paladin rig. If you look at the belt connector up front, it is squared up and machine sewn down. Now, I didn't use the same sewing style that Ajallo did. He didn't even put sewing on the outer edges of his belt billets, but I do that. Now, this is one solid piece, and I put the edge on it. It's very hard to video black. There it is. So you can see the sewing. 7 holes for the buckle, and the sew around here for the connection up to here. All right. And that is the same as the buckle area right here. Okay, sewn all the way around. and then connected here. Now I use Chicago screws to put buckles on so they can be changed. I also sew it on so that if something happens to it, it can be removed and repaired. Okay. Now a very big difference between an Arbo or Giallo holster and the way I make them is this. If you look at this picture, which you can find on the internet, in fact if you search for Giallo's rigs, you'll find this picture. This is probably the way the buckle connector was on Little Joe's holster rig in Bonanza, Michael Landon's rig. And this is a very tricky, looks very simple, but it's a tricky way to put a buckle on the end of a gun belt. The reason is that this little piece right here that you're seeing, this one right here, is what this represents. This is where the gun belt comes in from underneath, slides through and makes a connection. However, if you'll notice, this one is sewn all the way across this area. So you can take your piece of leather and machine sew this part right here. Also the buckle is hanging over the end, which allows you to pull it up, get it out of the way, and the sewing machine can come around. But the other one, you can't do it that way. You would have to leave this seam open and hand sew part of this. And I didn't feel like doing that. The advantage of having the buckle this way is that there isn't as much rise as the belt billet comes through in here. So he took the extra time. I don't know whether this is a patented detail or not, but for me, I don't believe this is as strong as the way I make them. So that's just something for you to know about how Giallo made his rigs. And there is a pattern design, a cutting design for making holsters that you can see in probably thousands of gun belt rigs that were made for Western TV from the late 50s on, or the middle 50s on. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. If you look at this picture of the Paladin rig, okay, you will see that right in here, from here to here, right above the horse head, okay, I'm holding the belt on the table so it doesn't go falling on the floor, and I'll bring this a little closer in a minute. You can see the shape of how this comes through here and how this cuts down here, and you're looking at it straight on. This holster, let me get it up. Okay. I made this rig just as exactly like I could of this style. Boy, that's going to be impossible between the white and the black to see both of them. Well, that's not a bad way to compare it. But if you see, this is a drop loop style, comes through here. There is no sharp cut down. Well, that came out easy to see. There's no real sharp cut down in the front. And if you watch an episode of How Gun Will Travel, you will see that this is exactly the way Paladin's rig was cut. If you look at it straight on from the side, I'm trying to get it to where you can really see it. There you go. The light is hanging off the edge here. Okay, there it is. This comes through here and cuts back around there, and then this comes down through here. This piece comes, or this cut comes through here, right, and around there, and hangs in the ledge. So let's compare what I just showed you, see, to this picture. Having black and white in the same image is going to make the camera go crazy. So I'm showing it to you this way. Right above the horse's head up to the cut in the belt where the holster goes through, or the slot where the belt goes through. So on this rig, again, I used standard holster strap. Let me get this up out of the way. Standard holster strap. Here's the man's initials, PB, and my stamp. That's the way the rig looks from the back. Let me get putting it back together again. Alright. So, gun goes in. This is my version of my hammer thong right there. And we got an old model VAQUERO and a new model. And a new model Blackhawk rig. There you have it. Okay? So, if you're a big man, I can make a rig for you. If you want a drop loop, this is how it's going to look from here to here. If you want more of a cut, that's not a problem. I can cut down in through here and give you a faster draw rig. Faster draw holster. So that's it for today with this particular video. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye bye. Oh, and by the way, to learn how to order, you will see that information on the end titles. And I want to make one more comment. My website still needs to be updated. So I made it in 2009 and it's got old prices on it. Everything's up for about across the board around $50, except I lowered prices to $20 for the CFDA and SAS badge holder. So I don't make them as the same way I used to, and it's a pretty quick make. So I make your badge holder in the same die set that I make your gun belt rig, and they match. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.